Okay, let's talk about ACHAIN. So ACHAIN, what is ACHAIN all about? We'll be seeing their roadmaps and everything about them. So ACHAIN, the former name was called Think Young, and in China they've had some awards. They've been there for a long time, and a lot of applications have been built upon them. And then there are some comparison between ACHAIN and then uh, maybe Neo and the rest of them. Well, I'm not here to compare one platform to the other. And let's see what ACHAIN is all about. So ACHAIN provides something like a smart sandbox for smart contracts. So what a sandbox is basically is a kind of platform. For example, like let's say for example you're designing applications for for computer systems. Now, before you launch them, you have to use something they call the sandbox. Now, you're using the sandbox to test and see what uh, would be the likely options of these platforms and the rest of them. So, and then another unique thing about ACHAIN is the system was built with forking in mind. So it's not more a system where we are building something and say okay, there is a need to fork this thing because the system can no longer control this thing. No, let's fork. No, ACHAIN has that already in mind. So the blockchain, for example, just like you have Ethereum, you use Ethereum for smart insurance, building decentralized applications for cryptocurrencies, credit card tracing, and the rest of them. ACHAIN is already built into the system. The another thing again about ACHAIN is the value exchange protocol. So with the value exchange protocol means all these forked blockchains or forked whatsoever, we can connect them together, can exchange information, and then another thing again is we can connect the forked blockchains, we can connect active blockchains, and we can connect non-blockchain together for data exchange using APIs and whatsoever. So if you go through the documents and whatsoever, they tell you what are the problems with today's blockchain. Now, some of the problems with today's blockchain they talk about is the issues of smart contract security risk. So uh, with ACHAIN, uh, that is off. Then another problem with many blockchains today is the interconnectivity. So most of these blockchains they are not interconnectable. Let's say for example, you cannot be working on Ethereum, for example, and you want to switch to another platform. Except what you with systems, you have to carry everything off Ethereum platform. No, how do we connect them for different purposes? The another problem with today's many platform is the issues of the difficulty in measuring the blockchain world with the real world. So you can see there are a lot of platforms that are being built in blockchain today, blockchain days, and that. The question is how many of them have reward use? And if they have reward use, how many of them can you mesh with normal world? Because I think it's more better if you, even though you want to replace decentralized, even though you want to replace centralized applications or whatsoever, it's more better if you can bring in people, if you can bring in platforms that first will mesh with decentralized applications, and then with time, these centralized applications are going to fizzle out and then give way to the decentralized applications. And then another problem with today's platforms is the issue of there's high technical entry. So you look at how people actually adopt technology. You see, one of the first things in the curve is the issues of um, the high techs. So where cryptocurrency is today, it's not very easy for a person even to come into cryptocurrency, let alone um, have their own programs. So how do we make it so easy? Like everybody can, nearly everybody can code of any degree. And then another issue again is the issues of low performance. So many blockchains today, though the decentralized applications or blockchains, it cannot give a throughput or an output that is equal to the centralized contemporaries. So even though we're talking about blockchain, this and that, the question you want to be asking yourself is how many of them are in real world use, and then what is the scale of them? So the solution that ACHAIN is going to bring is ACHAIN has their own central they have their own blockchain, so they want to bring stability. So they have their own programming language, and then they have their they are working with the Lua programming language, which is very easy to use. Lua programming language. And then another thing again is they will be achieving consensus using is an improvement of this an improvement of the delegated proof of stake using the result delegated proof of stake. And then their platform is going to support many things like main programming language like Java, C++, and then with time they will be adding more platforms and the rest of them. And then another thing about this platform is scalability will be supported. Now, this scalability being supported using the forking and the rest of them is what is going to make ACHAIN into a kind of platform that offer blockchain as a service. So we already know about blockchain. Now we have two type of blockchains. We have the permission and then the permissionless blockchain, which is kind of like the open or closed blockchain, or private and then public blockchain. So let's use public and private. So the public is basically what you have like Bitcoin and the rest of them. Anybody can see, everybody can do whatever they want and the rest of them if they follow the rules of the system. And then what about we have a kind of system like you just like the way the bank works. You go there to pay. They have their own servers which only the clients who are working in the bank, maybe you are working in the financial sector or whatever, can actually have access to that database. So what about if we create, since we have the blockchain to be something like the next internet, what about we bring in a service where we can create private blockchains for individual organizations. So in a bank or in a unit, we can create, like say for example, your bank now have their own private blockchain. That is what ACHAIN wants to do. Then they also have what they call the value exchange protocol. So you'll be asking, okay, what is this value exchange protocol that they are talking about? And the value exchange protocol they're talking about has to do with it defines the rules of connection and communication. So you are saying a blockchain, for example, forking is already built into it. Now with this forking built into it, it's not a system where you are building systems to be competing with them. No. The purpose of forking has already been defined. Okay, we want to fork the system. We want to build the systems that fork automatically once scalability becomes an issue, or we want to create a special application. And then the other thing again, that this value exchange protocols servers, it acts as a DNS for each forking blockchain. So a DNS has to do with a domain name system. So you're having ACHAIN system now, and it's going to fork into many systems. How do we now locate each system? How do we now, like you have your web, for example, you have billions of websites. How do you know this is ACHAIN, for example, and this is screen recorder, this is YouTube, Steemit, and the rest of them. So the value exchange protocol is going to act as a domain name system for each blockchain, for each forking blockchain. And another thing again about this value exchange protocol, it's going to provide query and access services for each licensed forking blockchain. So one of the things you have to know is that you don't just fork you don't just fork the system. They are protocols which the value exchange protocol is going to define. Okay, these are the criteria, and these are the parameters for you to actually split, because forking has to do with splitting the system. Now these are the protocols you have to follow if you want to leave the system and then form your own. These are the protocols and the rest of them. Now another thing again about the system is the value exchange protocol. It supports two stuffs. One of the first things is supports cross-chain communication. with different blockchain. And then another thing again, it supports cross-chain smart contract evocation. So let's say, for example, you fork the system and then you now have your own blockchain. With the value exchange protocol, you can invoke you can invoke this smart contract. As you can see from it, the VP includes the following: blockchain registration information, network identity service nodes, cross-chain verification protocol, and the rest of them. So you can invoke blockchain. You can evoke smart contract in those other blockchain that has been brought. Now, the value exchange protocol, you can see some of the things that are written here. It includes the following. One of the first things, it includes an asset exchange protocol. And then another thing again, it involves things like cross-chain verification protocol between one blockchain and the other, because that is where the issues, like many blockchains do not support interconnectivity. So with this system, we can connect them together. And then that again is it includes a communication protocol and blockchain registration information. And then another thing about the value exchange protocol is it can serve as a reward and a punishment mechanism. So with this VIP, we can say, okay, this platform, you met the required criteria and whatsoever. Okay, why not we reward you and then do this or this kind of reason? Or this platform is not meeting the necessary criteria or whatsoever, or terms of agreement. Let's invoke some punishment. That is what the system wants to do. So it's going to govern its own turf. And then we come to the event driven. So now event driven means through IoT and then AI, these are developing segments of the economy. This fucking ACHAIN network can embrace offline data. That is why I told you the value exchange protocol is going to connect the forked blockchains. It's going to connect active blockchains. It's going to connect non-blockchain, so offline. So it's going to connect offline data from such as enterprise and public database into the ACHAIN network. So I think it's something that has never been done before, because most of the systems is okay. You have a system, you are going to bring in, you want to create your whole blockchain for yourself. No, with the ACHAIN system, you can connect. ACHAIN is going to the ACHAIN network can embrace offline data from other systems, and then there are 5 steps for this event-driven mechanism. And the first thing is actually recognize different scenarios, and then categorize them, and then set up a response standard. Opening, listening service, and cache information, maybe through their APIs and whatsoever. Then calculate and check response. Execute smart contract through the value exchange protocol. And then return, execute results. Then talk about the different issues of where can ACHAIN be applied. Can you see supply chain finance? It can be applied with things like authentication. And this is the development plan from 2014. They've been developing the system, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So you want to be saying, okay, where do I get information about the team, the milestones, and the rest of them? Some of the things are written in China. If you go on the website, you can see. So let's scroll down. From 2014, I told you the name, the project started as Think Young, and then they rebranded, I think last year, to ACHAIN. And you can see the virtual machine was developed, upgraded to this. The founder, Tony Shin, I don't know if I'm correct, was awarded top 30 honor by Cyberzone. The team won the first prize in China Blockchain Innovative Application Competition. Think Young team won the first prize in the China Blockchain Development Competition. Tony Shin was awarded Star Entrepreneur in 2016. Think Young rebranded as ACHAIN. IDE tools for smart contract version. So they have their own integrated development environment, IDE. And then ACHAIN was awarded as the most growth value in the ACHAIN Summit the launch of mainnet, and the list goes on and on. So you want to be asking, what are some of the decentralized applications that be built upon this system? So you can see, let me reduce this. So you can see some of the platforms. Pundis, one of the platforms